Search up PETA Mario and PETA Pokemon and you'll see the true side of PETA.
Whatever. I'm not going to stop eating Squirtles just because a bunch of hippies got all sad.
These are PETA staffers reading real-life internet comments. They're from some angry dudes, to be sure, and they're mad that PETA, to them, is hating on their favorite video game characters. But does PETA actually hate Mario, Pokémon, and Cooking Mama? And why does PETA make games in the first place? Perhaps it's not surprising that PETA games incite such outrage. Gaming's popularity is massive and growing. There are over 2.5 billion gamers around the world, and the video game market is enormous, worth over $78 billion in 2017, expected to reach $90 billion by 2020. But PETA has been in the games business for over a decade now, racking up an impressive collection of parody games that aim to take complex animal rights issues and make them palatable for... Wait, what is this?
Is that a real question?
Joel Bartlett is Vice President of Marketing at PETA, and he's been involved in PETA games since nearly the beginning, helping write scripts and concepts for our biggest hits.
So our first big mainstream game was Super Mario Bros. Super Chick Sisters, and since then we did a number of other parody games, parody of the Cooking Mama series, Cooking Mama, Your Mama Kills Animals, where you're preparing a Thanksgiving feast, but we don't cut corners, so you slice the head off the turkey, you stick stuffing up the turkey's butt, and we give people an honest interpretation of what goes into making a turkey dinner. We did another Mario Brothers parody, Mario Kills Tanuki, which is a parody of Super Mario Bros. 3, and that was inspired by PETA's investigation into the Chinese fur industry. We thought that it was an interesting way to draw attention to that issue and call Mario out for wearing essentially a fur coat. We also have done a couple parody games of the Pokémon series, starting with Pokémon Black and Blue. We called Pokémon out for encouraging animal fighting and experimentation. We actually saw that there were real animal rights themes being explored in the Pokemon world, and so we just took that a step further. That was like, what if PETA existed in the world of Pokemon?
So what's with all the parody games? Does PETA really hate Mario, Pokemon, and Cooking Mama?
We get a lot of knee-jerk reactions from people who say things like, PETA's ruining their childhood, but then when they dig into it, they actually respect the current attention that we put into it, and I think it becomes clear that the games, while they do have criticisms in there, they are labors of love. I mean, I played a lot of Pokemon in order to work on Pokemon Black and Blue, and it was, fun to play. But that doesn't mean that we can't have fun creating a parody that has actual real animal rights messages in it.
That's right. Believe it or not, PETA doesn't care about what imaginary plumbers are doing. We're far more concerned about how McDonald's and KFC kills millions of chickens, or how animals suffer in laboratories, or how animals are skinned alive for their fur, which is what's happening behind this blur. Real stuff. These games are just one of the most effective ways to bring attention to these real-world issues. The browser games have consistently ranked as PETA's top traffic pages, racking up over 11 million page views, and it's obvious why.
What I love about video games is that they are immersive. People spend a long time with them. And when you go to a website, you're lucky if someone spends a minute there. You get a tweet, you have someone's attention for a second. A video on YouTube, maybe a couple minutes, but video games create an unprecedented opportunity for a depth of engagement with someone.
These far higher retention rates existed even though these games would also feature footage of animals on farms, in laboratories, on fur farms, and other cruel places. It seemed like PETA had found a rock-solid way to get people to take in information about how animals are treated in some of the biggest and cruelest industries in the world. But then, a few years ago, something started to happen that risked the end of this strategy. The death of Flash. Flash was the back-end engine powering most of PETA's online games, but as the web turned mobile, Flash and Flash gaming was quickly out of date. We needed another strategy.
Flash games were awesome back then, they were. So it's really sad that Flash died, pretty much.
This is Luke Bernard. He helped bring PETA Games into a post-Flash world.
Just very simple email. It's just like, hey, wouldn't it be awesome if PETA just had like a console game? And that's pretty much how it started. For the game, I kind of came up with a concept where I thought it would just be funny, which would be like kittens with toy guns, exploding robots. I mean, just that concept alone just sounds ridiculous. It does, and on the same time, they're going and saving animals.
And the new strategy has paid off. Kitten Squad has racked up around 2 million downloads so far across all platforms, including mobile apps, PlayStation, Steam, and this year debuting on Nintendo Switch, amassing over 100,000 downloads in the first week alone, becoming the second most downloaded free game on the entire platform.
The secret is there aren't a lot of free games on these platforms, particularly the Nintendo Switch. When we got our Kitten Squad game on there, the only other free games were pinball. So if you don't have any money and you want to play a game, it was Kitten Squad or pinball, and we ended up reaching hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people that way. So they download the game, they play it, and the message is clear.
The Kitten Squad cutscenes are inspired by real-world abuse uncovered by PETA exposés. This cutscene explores the horrors of the wool industry through the eyes of a lamb who is mutilated, imprisoned, and abused for his wool. Other cutscenes reveal cruelty at marine parks like SeaWorld and at circuses that use animals.
People are learning about all these abuses in these industries, but still playing a game that is fun, where you play as a kitten and you're shooting carrot rocket launchers or shooting a yarn ball gun.
But PETA Games don't plan on stopping there. Joel and Luke are working on a follow-up to Kitten Squad, debuting later this year.
Can't reveal too much, and so I want to keep most of it secret and all that. But it's going to be 3D RPG mechanics. So this time we'll actually be focusing on basically animal testing. We don't really talk about that much. We don't even show it that much, just because the pictures are so bloody gruesome. And with a game and with, cartoon graphics and all those kind of things, it's easier to be able to put it out, to be able to show really what's happening. And it'll be still kind of in the same universe as Kitten Squad, but something maybe a lot more epic. It will, and again, 3D. And that's all I can really reveal, just because I kind of want people to be able to just see it. I want us to just kind of put it out and everybody can see it. So I'm very excited for that one, actually. I think it's going to be really great.
It might not put a stop to the comments, but if millions of people continue to play and engage with PETA Games, well, we'll find a way to soldier on somehow. Maybe by occasionally reading the comments out loud for our own amusement.
Seriously? Enjoy your organically grown vegan hemp wet blankets. Pathetic.
My shirt's actually made of hemp today.
Oh, cool.
I wore it just for the occasion.
Tune in next time for another episode of PETA Video Answers, and hit subscribe and that all-important bell to stay up to date on everything happening on PETA's YouTube channel. We'll see you next time.